Live action anime adaptations have not gone well, and Netflix has been one of the worst culprits when it comes to putting out awful adaptations with Death Note, Cowboy Bebop, and people have a lot of hope for One Piece. But an EP for both Cowboy Bebop and now One Piece has come out and made a statement about following source material that makes him look like one of the dumbest creatives in the industry. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media so you can see when my content is posted, and of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and live streams I create, consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. So starting with this Bounding into Comics article, it says Netflix's One Piece executive producer Marty Adelstein has revealed that the most important lesson he and his studio learned from producing the streaming giant's live-action Cowboy Bebop abomination was that all fans want of any adaptation is source material accuracy. Now, of course, I have talked about the Cowboy Bebop live-action adaptation a lot on the channel. It was quite an abomination. I was so disappointed because I just didn't think that Cowboy Bebop would be that hard to adapt. Out of all of the anime, properties that they could do, it was one of, in my opinion, the easier ones, and they did have a big budget to go along with it. But they did the worst possible job, not only set-wise and costume-wise and kind of actor-wise in a lot of places, but also quality-wise, writing-wise. It just was not good. It was definitely below the standards that we would all expect. And now they're doing One Piece. But instead of, coming out and admitting, we made some mistakes, we didn't do the best job we could have, they're just saying that, wow, fans want source material accuracy, acting like it is some new and foreign concept to them. So he serves as both an executive producer on both anime adaptations and who Tomorrow Studios produced them, opened up about his current mindset during a recent One Piece-centric interview given to Variety's Jennifer Moss. One Piece does come out in a few days, and I really want it to be good. I think that this is important to say. I want it to be good. I want it to be fantastic. I do not want entertainment to come out and be trash. But I have had a lot of worries about One Piece because I do think it is going to be difficult to adapt to a live action format. But I also think that knowing Tomorrow Studios are the ones behind it just took away any sort of hype that I really had. Tomorrow Studios did a terrible job with Cowboy Bebop. Why would we expect them to do better with One Piece? And I do understand that, Oda has some kind of creative control over this, but I just don't think Oda has as much creative control as we really hope. It's Tomorrow Studios who makes the major decisions, the same company that did Cowboy Bebop, and you can't give Netflix a pass just because you're a fan of One Piece. I'm not giving Netflix a pass just because I'm a fan of One Piece. It's like video games, right? Jedi Survivor launched buggy and broken, and they didn't care because they knew people were such giant fans of the first game that people were going to buy it anyway. You can totally be hopeful for the show, and I want it to be good, and I will be watching it in just a few days, but I don't trust Netflix, and I don't trust Tomorrow Studios. Their track records are not good. And after hearing this, if you didn't have any worries, you might now, because he went on to say, what we learned is that fans are expecting you to be true to the source material. It's like he had a eureka moment. The light bulb lit up over his head like, guys, this is what we've got to do. I've cracked the code. You haven't cracked shit. If you had looked at social media, you had looked at comments on the official Cowboy Bebop trailers, you would have seen all of the information you needed. I mean, people were literally rewriting the series and pointing out you should have done this in this scene or that differently. You should have changed this outfit or this set. People were helping them throughout, the whole process of Cowboy Bebop when we saw teasers and we saw trailers. Of course, fans are expecting you to be true to the source material. At the end of the day, that's what most of us care about, is that you respected the original material You did justice by these amazing characters and this amazing property in general. It says, thankfully, Adelstein was apparently not the only Tomorrow Studios team member to learn this lesson. According to the studio president, Becky Clements, after facing the cold, hard truth that their hubris in attempting to westernize Cowboy Bebop was responsible for the series' abysmal reception, it became everyone's goal to make sure that when you looked at One Piece, you thought that this was a live-action version of the manga that just felt like another feather in the legacy of Oda, that people just get to see it in another genre but still have that same reaction and feeling towards the narrative. And this really does make me feel like they've learned their lesson. They've seen the backlash, and going forward are going to be putting a lot of effort into their projects, starting with One Piece, and maybe they've actually had that eureka moment before they started the series, which means the show is actually going to be good. If it isn't, though, that would be so disappointing, because it would be a stain on Oda's legacy, just like the live action was a stain on Cowboy Bebop's legacy. One good show isn't going to, erase the sins of your past or erase what they've done to previous properties, but it is a step in the right direction. And I think that it is so important to point that out. If this works out, this could open the door to a future of really good, solid live action adaptations of anime, and that would be awesome, but let's temper our expectations and wait and see and hope that that's the case. But in the end, it's still a pretty funny situation. If this all turns out good, the way they, represent the fact that, oh, it only took, going by source material to make fans happy. I mean, come on, being in this industry, that's something you should have understood before you started your first project, but it is good to see that they are acknowledging the problems of the past. If to come to this realization took working with the original creator of the property, in this case Oda, so closely, then yeah, that's what it takes. You have to bring the original writers in to do these. You can't just take the property, give it to someone else, and hope they get it right. It doesn't work out. At this point, all we can do is pray that Oda, pulled this off and is making us a fantastic series, and I want that to be the case. I'll be watching it in a few days like many of you, and, maybe it'll be fantastic. I really want it to be. We can only hope, but time will tell, and at this point, yes, it seems that, Tomorrow Studios is putting their money where their mouth is, because the One Piece set photos and trailers have gotten better since the first one that people were, a little bit confused by, a little bit unhappy with. Things have seemingly gotten better. They've put some more time into things like CGI, and I hope in a few days this ends up being really good, and it is, maybe a new future for live action anime adaptations. Only time will tell, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.